Attention was drawn to the misery index, which is the sum of unemployment and inflation rates. According to the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, Nigeria has one of the world's highest misery indexes, with many Nigerians experiencing a cost of living crisis and weak purchasing power due to rising inflation. Furthermore, a July 2024 report by the Financial Times describes the conundrum in these words. In the nearly 15 months since Bola Tinubu became president, he has forced his 220 million fellow Nigerians to swallow some bitter medicine. He removed the generous fuel subsidy, one of the few benefits citizens receive.
If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the net get bigger and we'll take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the
fellow Nigerians. This is just the beginning.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
we must learn a lesson.
This man!
You're gonna trust man, Adam, your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
Right? And even proceeding, by the way, this is on the side though, okay? They said that Nigeria currently has a national gas plan, sort of, okay? And it is going to go up over $2 billion or so dollars, something that is about connecting the whole country, yes, to the gas from the eastern part of Nigeria. Imo State is the state with the highest. No, is that the highest? No, I don't think the highest is the word. Let me use highest. The highest deposit of LNG in the whole world after Russia. Google it. But yet, in their national gas projects, to ensure that interested states would have a pipeline that link them to this gas, and they can turn it on anytime. But this national gas plan does not include the eastern part of Nigeria, where they are taking the gas from. It's one House of Representative member that raised the alarm.
I'll be brief. From what, with due respect to Senator Lero, who said lion share to the southwest, when will Southeast even have lion share in any particular project? Mr. President, if this is an omission, it is an expensive omission. The Southeast cannot continually to be treated the way Nigeria is treating the Southeast. Let me give you an instance. Out of the dams that were listed here on the Southeast, Ivo Dam was last funded about 12 years ago with a 5 billion naira spent on it, and it has been abandoned by Nigeria for the last 12 years. I had written 3 letters to the Ministry of Water Resources. We have done everything possible to see if they can bring up Ivo Dam, and here a zone is allocated 66 billion and the entire South is at 0. What kind of omission is that, Mr. President?
Thank you.
We should be treated better than this, sir.
Thank you.
Senator
Wamako.
That's another one. I actually left that out. So another one is that they are allocating money for dams including places where they need to build new ones. So they are doing like region. And like you pointed out, unintentionally, you believe that unintentionally they removed them from it. Today, they will tell you that Nigeria debt, right, is 240 trillion naira, or 150 to 160 billion dollars. And every state in Nigeria, right, is paying that debt. But somehow, the entire part of Nigeria can point to, not entire, majority part of Nigeria can point out to, again, let me retake that. The entire Nigeria can point out to what the federal government possibly can say they use the money for. And that is why they are deducting their allocation every month, except the eastern part of Nigeria. Don't let it shock you. It is true. It is all institutional. It is all deliberate. It is not coincidence. And every now and then when they get pointed out like this, it doesn't seem like they will make any changes, or at least for posterity's sake, right? We should always leave it out there. Here is another part of the lies that somebody just pointed out again. It's not just the NNPC. When was the last time you heard about the CNG? Remember that time? Everything CNG. Okada, CNG. Generator, CNG. Downfall, CNG. They wanted to put CNG in everything. Remember? Will I say that gig only lasted for a month? Okay? Because in reality, right, what they are doing towards expanding the access to CNG and cheap one, right, is near zero. So for the entire country, right, the what do you call it, Tinubu's regime that brought the idea of CNG, right? And then there were companies already doing the CNG in Nigeria before APC. Egbekegbe wanted to make it to divert your attention from the subsidy removal. Remember, CNG. If a liter of petrol is sold for 1,000 naira, go and do CNG and other. So the fraud has sort of like outlived its own use now. So they believe that, you know, everybody has moved on, I think, but not everyone. It's another lie that it tomorrow. They are also adding a feather to Tinubu's cap, the decade symbol of Anambra, to further make his heavy head carry more heavy of those lies of, feathers of lies. This person pointed out what it is like today. In the entire country, they said they only have just about 15 or 20 charging ports. Oh, sorry, changing port and charging, refueling port points in the whole country, right? But no wonder it's not actually really been talked about anymore. But this guy will tell you what it is like for some of them who possibly bought the lie at the time, right? And took their vehicles to get converted to CNG. Now he says they can wait for 2 days just to refuel. I've been out to refuel.
When the present government came on board, for less than 2 years ago, they came with a very vibrant sale, right, to speed up the use and conversion of CNG. And in fact, Nigeria were very happy, enthusiastic, but the infrastructure that is on ground to implement the policy is not adequate. And that's the shortfall that we have been noticing now for quite over 1 year. And you can see that we have some stations where we have this CNG, we have queues, like those queues we used to have when we had petrol scarcity. And we had some big trucks that has about 12 cylinders are spending about 3-4 days in CNG station to refuel. It doesn't make sense. It's an embarrassment to the government and to the system. I think the chairman of the committee and the CEO of the presidential initiative on CNG should go to the drawing board and look at how to ameliorate this shortfall. And I know, yes, it's capital is intensive, but we have many IPMAN member stations that are very big that can co-assist with this scheme. So they don't need to go and building a brand new stations. Like some stations, they sell petrol there, they sell diesel and CNG, but they need to come out and partner with IPMAN. Now that we even have a new president in the name of Dr. Kola Adewanyi, he's ready to assist the government, right? So that we can look at it, go to the drawing board, look at the shortfall areas, and nominate some stations nationwide that can help them in this system. That's point one. Point two, the fund that is being budgeted for this in this budget of this year 2025 is 225 billion, which is nothing to write home about. Government should invest more serious and invest more heavily in this scheme, because it costs about 1/3 of the cost of fuel, so which is quite very cheaper, very friendly, and it will make life easy for Nigerians and the vehicle owners. That's number two. Then number three, the issue of conversion costs is very, very high. To convert this 4-cylinder engine now is about 750,000, while 6 cylinders is about 900,000, even 8 cylinders is about 1.3 million naira. And I mean, people cannot afford this cost. But at the same time, there's a scheme that government can come up with that will make life easier for them to convert easily, and they can be paying, they can spread the cost of conversion on the cost of the CNG packaging, and they will not even know that they are paying. And they'll be paying gradually without even having any effect on them. So that is area I think government should look at.
Go back to drawing board. Did you hear that? The question is there any board at all? Talk less of there is a drawing. I mean, when you have a plan, and your plan is, we need something to distract the people about this fuel subsidy thing. What can we do? What about we set the idea of criminal Nigerian government to the CNG, and we call it gas conversion, because gas is cheaper than a liter of petrol. That's a good idea, but that's going to cost money. Yeah, but if we put together, let's say 5 billion naira, we use some to kind of like buy fuel recharge stations, add fuel recharge stations to some fuel filling stations, right? And then give money to maybe 2 or 3 companies that are already doing the conversion in Nigeria. Just present them like we are going into partnership, federal government versus private sector. Then design a scheme. Nigerians like free things. Design a scheme and tell them that government will subsidize the conversion of their cars. And then they can begin to buy cheaper gas, which is cheaper than petrol. So we use some people who are going to be the, they're going to be the first set that we're going to use to push that, okay? So 5 billion naira, yeah, let's push that. And of course, it worked for some time. And to make it look original, let us set up a presidential committee on CNG. That's beautiful. So we just had Tinubu to inaugurate them, which we now say they have been mandated to ensure that Nigerians have access to CNG. Say, yeah, that's true. Yeah, go and sell that one and say the problem of expensive petroleum is solved. That's it. It's as simple as that. And they go out there, they allocate, money is allocated, everybody went to work, bribe influencer, they will bribe, call some artists, give them some money. They even send some of them to India. I bet you agree. Bright Okocha. What is his name again? He has a name for, it's a stage name. Ola of London, Abi Ola of Lagos, Abi Nko. Radara, APC musician, right? They sent all of them to India as experts in CNG. Is also part of the scheme. Today, you are now telling them to go back to drawing board. Drawing board, wow. You want them to do CNG 2.0? It is not different from this student loan as well. Remove education subsidy. Introduce student loan. Give some. Let us set up a committee, presidential committee on student loan. And let us set up a committee now that will cost third fund. I mean, sorry, not third fund. They have a name for it. NEL fund or something. Student fund, I don't know. Here you get. So, job for the boys. Allocate money for them to do what you want them to do. An impression that we always look like an alternative to what we are taking from you. And the alternative means it doesn't have to be everybody. Not everybody will enjoy and bore. A policy of government that subsidizes education means every child would have access to that education, subsidized from the source. It doesn't matter where you come from. But now, you have to fill a form, fill all of this and that to come and collect 20,000 naira a year. 20,000 naira a year as your stipend money from student loan. It's all scheme. It's like, cartel thing. It's all scam, fraud here and there. And because they are government, they are the ones in government, okay? So who is going to arrest them? Because they are committing crime. I know nobody's going to arrest them. And that is why the only person who understands this better is this guy.
In the case of Tinubu, he went to Hope 93 of Abiola and put out the manifesto of Abiola, then tweak some things and then put some language. And he calls it renewed hope. In actual fact, it is renewed hopelessness. Why? In the case of...
Do you understand? He understands better, but in their case, or in the case of Bulaba, it is, if you can't beat them, right, you better join them now. Before everything kind of like goes out for you. I want him to say it again. Say it again.
In the case of Tinubu, he went to Hope 93 of Abiola and put out the manifesto of Abiola, then tweak some things and then put some language. And he calls it renewed hope. In actual fact, it is renewed hopelessness. Why?
Don't worry, we know why. And that is why they talk of the coalition. It's actually a serious thing, that they are going to succeed or not is a different story entirely. So from what has been gathered, let me gist you. This coalition talk, right? They are beginning to tell us the, what do you call it? The modalities, the options and stuffs that they are currently observing before they will make their declaration. So far, right? Number one, they have actually been quietly. We don't even know all of them. Some of the guys you think you do know, right? You have the El Rufai, the Kaduna Littlefinger. You have Atifku, right? You have Obi. You have, I don't know if Kwakwan Sop is with them, right? But anyway, let me just name those few who are like a prominent among those who are talking about coalition and a possible one and what have you, okay? So part of their dilemma that they are facing, according to them, is that they understand that the ruling party or the ruling party, APC, Egbekegbe, they have so much control, or should we say they have infiltrated most of the political parties, opposition parties in Nigeria, that they are aware. So they sent a team out. They call them a team of political scientists, something like that. So go and please check all the existing political parties, talk to them, and bring back what is called the health report in the political sense. Like, which one do you think is viable, and that all of us can actually move to? So they said out of nearly 20 political parties you have in the contraption, they only came back with 2 names. And they are SDP and ADC. So for the SDP guys, the offer on the table for these coalition co-travelers, okay, is that any party they want to go to, they would have to take it over, restructure it in their own way to now use it for an election. That's their plan. So when they got to the SDP, those ones said, no, we won't do that. Or rather, we welcome you. You will join us like we are, still SDP. You will join us as equals.